Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Stephen Howson, Ronaldo Brown. Who the fucking hell's he?
Andre. Intern at Studio 68.
We've got Dre here, who's a journalism intern. He's been doing some pretty good research, so I thought, you know what? Let's get him on. Let's have a chat to him. Let's see if his opinions are as good as his writing. And let's see if he can actually talk into a microphone, because not everyone can do it, you know, Dre.
Is that all right?
Yeah, sending
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're sending shots at me, innit? But it's one of them, when you're talking and having a genuine conversation, you kind of like, you alter off, innit? When you get natural with it. Yeah. Obviously, this guy basically wants to lips the mic. I don't do that.
So is that too loud? But that's too far away.
Correct.
You just sort of hear.
So you got a Goldilocks.
Lean in a little bit. Bad for the posture.
Right, so as the title suggests, and I've already seen someone saying Rene Meulensteen got sacked from a random Indian club. And like what relevance is that? Now, one, he got sacked as head coach, as manager, which is a completely different role to the role he was doing at Manchester United. Like, completely different. If he was one of the people that was coming back, he is one of the best technical coaches in world football. Like, facts. Like, no one's arguing about it.
Well, Steve McLaren got sacked with England, but he was like Fergie's assistant for ages.
It's a totally different role.
It's weird, and the variables are too much when you can't compare situations. It's not comparable, is it? It's like some people have said about Ragnick coming back when he was at Lokomotiv Moscow, thinking he's not managed.
There's been tangible improvements.
It's been tangible improvements, exactly. We've seen differences. I know a lot of people are arguing, obviously, Ten Hag could make a difference, but they're talking about the fact is the players that we got at the club, is every manager doomed? But I think it depends, though, innit?
You got to get the structure right, I think. You get the structure right. And the structure is this that we're talking about, Ten Hag's staff. And like, I'm seeing, there's all these names, and there's an extra name I'm going to just put out there a little bit as well. Someone mentions Walter Smith. Yeah, Walter Smith. Like, came and worked under Fergie for a little bit. Brian Kidd, incredibly successful as Sir Alex's number 2, and then did nothing as a coach himself. Like, it's a completely different job. Just the way being a footballer to being a player is a coach, is a completely different job, and not everyone's necessarily cut out to it. I had a bit of pushback on the video yesterday where I said I would like an ex-player. Everyone was like, "Oh, you just want Rio in there because he's your mate." Like, no, I want an ex-player in there. Like I said, one of the privileges of chatting to Rio is understanding some of the depths of what happens in those changing rooms at that level. He's got a unique perspective on that.
People are having conflicted opinions, though, because like what you've said, I've seen people argue that they don't want ex-United players, but then they still want people there that have some remnants of when we were successful.
It doesn't matter, though. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's just, are they a good enough assistant? Forget about if they played for United or not. That's why it's like...
But I do think having people that have been successful at the club... Now, I mentioned this yesterday and everyone totally glossed over the fact. The class of 92 lads, you go, they were successful in their own right? Brian Kidd was a winning player at Manchester United. Nobby Stiles was a winning player at United. They were involved in their bringing through into the first team. We had this then. Mm-hmm. And we had elements of this even with the Busby Babes. We had elements of this with Johnny Carey, was a widely successful player that ended up helping with some of the academy players and prospects. You have to have that continuity, I think. People who know what the standards are. That doesn't necessarily mean every single person who was successful at the club is going to make a good coach. They have to be both. That's the important thing. Mm-hmm. Now, some of the names that's on this list, and the reason that we're talking about this and the reason that we've brought up this list is there's some talk coming out that Ten Hag, if appointed at Manchester United, and I like the fact that you're getting the details out of this. It's like when you start hearing how long someone's contract is and how much they're getting, that means that this is happening and it's very close. Yeah. This tells me that we're hearing very key things about the appointment of Ten Hag, tells me that this is getting close. When we start to hear that he wants someone Dutch that's got links with the club, and you go, oh, I wonder if that... Actually, quite a lot of people that could be that.
That's the thing. But does that person have to be the assistant, or can they just be on the staff?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the difference. Because like the obvious, is it Van de Gaag? Was it
Van Gaag? Basically,
Van Gaag.
Ten Hag 2.0. That's
Ten
insane.
Hag and Van Gaag. But yeah, like he's the obvious
that guy
option,
there next to him. This one here. Go
in
back on the
between
wide.
it.
That one.
That
just looks like Ten
Jaap
Hag.
Stam, and they're all just cousins.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Imagine having 6 people on a full and half of them are bald. It's like...
But yeah, so Ten Hag is interested supposedly in having someone Dutch with a background at Manchester United. So we said, okay, well, let's explore who those could be and let's look at the for and against. Now, there's also a report that Van der Gaag, I think is how you pronounce it. Let me just double check.
Is it Van der or Van?
Van der Gaag. Van der Gaag.
Well, that's the comments. Comments always know. Is it Van der Gaag or Van der Gaag?
So he's probably going to be first through the door. Every manager wants to bring someone that's one of their allies, someone that they knows their style of play and this, that, and the other, right? So Van der Gaag, currently Ten Hag's assistant at Ajax, currently his walking mirror as well. He's got experience as a manager in Holland and abroad, proven he can be successful under and with Ten Hag. Very obvious choice, most likely going to remain as the assistant. But let's look at some of the others in there. Jaap Stam.
Well, I think Jaap Stam. Can you imagine him in the dressing room talking to Luke?
You want to get attitude, right?
What are you doing?
The fear factor back.
That's what I mean.
Jaap Stam is fear factor in a box.
Yeah, Dre, we want imagine Jaap Stam, Maguire. Surely he's not having him.
Get out.
He's telling him get out straight away. He's saying it's upstairs.
Jaap Stam will sign himself on and play himself before he lets Maguire get selected. And he'll be like, whoa. What's he doing?
But then the problem with that is you could say the same about Ronaldo. He demands things. He's gone in there now and have things changed.
No, apparently but he's exposed a lot of the pussy mentality.
That is true.
Which I think he needed.
Then again, it's like, okay, right, imagine Stam goes in and he's like, there's a lot of players in here who just aren't cut out for it. But then are they going to do it? Are the Glazers going to go, all right, then let's sell everyone and sign them?
No, they won't know, because you'd get the same thing from if Roy Keane went in. You know, a lot of people are calling for him. Because, obviously, we've had Ronaldo come in. He's kind of exposed mentality. He said things have changed from 2008. He almost can't recognise the way the culture and identity at the Carrington in 2008.
This is it then. You've got to reintroduce that high standard culture.
But it's the backlash, though, because obviously all we've heard about is Maguire not being happy about Ronaldo's presence. Everyone being happy, and it's not worked.
Weak mentally players, the likes of Luke Shaw, the likes of Maguire. You could possibly even throw Rashford in that, Marshall in that. There's a lot. Honestly, there's more players in that list than without
a doubt.
So what's Jaap Stam up to currently? Let's have a look. So currently out of a job. He's had a lot of managerial experience in multiple countries. Definitely knows the club. Mm-hmm. I mean, he might be the most successful Premier League player ever when you extrapolate it over. He was here 3 years.
Trophies per game.
Won the treble and won a league title in those 3 years. Nobody else has ever done that. Literally nobody else has ever been as immediately and incredibly successful as Jaap has been. As a defensive coach, Jesus, you've got to think he knows what he's doing with the defence. He knows what he wants to see individually. There's some talk that he'd be a good presence around the dressing room. There was a lot of good feedback from, I think, Reading. He was relatively successful with, was it?
Yeah, I don't know how he did it. I can't really remember.
But, you've got to think in terms of a big Dutch personality. For me, Jaap Stam's got to be in the running, especially as he's out of work. It's easier to get someone out of work. Ruud van Nistelrooy.
I mean, he'd be a good finishing coach, wouldn't he? Him and RVP.
He seems to be working out, though, isn't it? But they are saying that Van Nistelrooy has, I don't know if he's mended fences with Ronaldo. Apparently they had a little bit of a disagreement back in the day.
They did. We spoke. He was on Vibe with Five about a year ago. We spoke to him about that, and he apologised to Sir Alex Ferguson, and I think he's made up with Ronaldo as well. But he's currently, I don't know if he's a coach. Is he a coach or a manager?
He's like the manager of their B team at PSV.
So we spoke to him about what he was doing and how seriously he was taking it. And he was very happy to just be learning the ropes. Again, could be someone that would be happy to come in and be a part of the staff. Not like a named appointment, not manager, not assistant. He's part of the staff. He's learning the ropes. Still, he's managed, even though it's under 19s or under 21s, whatever it is. But he's...
Thing is, do you want coaches at United who are still learning?
In a way, yeah, because you're getting
a manager should never stop learning.
Yeah, you're getting innovation, aren't you?
Yeah, but it's like
Sally's gone off.
Like Ferguson.
It's the silver one.
Oh no,
you'll have to do it from right up close as well. Just give it me. So you've got someone that's potentially learning on the job in terms of Ruud. But he can if you've got excellence around him. And again, if his role is going to be more one of putting an arm around a player, maintaining culture and standards, you absolutely can do that.
Yeah, well, you could say the same about Carrick and Fletcher and Giggs.
Yeah,
so the thing is, you can't judge their success. How can you judge their success if you look at how we did under during the time when they were there? You could say they're unsuccessful.
Yeah. Cool.
There we go.
So lads again.
Also,
another person that could do bits is Robin van Persie. Obviously, currently assistant at Feyenoord. I don't know if there's any kind of rivalry. I mean, I know there's a rivalry, Feyenoord and Ajax. But is the greater good? Robin van Persie was a big thing at United. Is United?
Oh, rivals become idols. I don't know. It doesn't matter if they kind of unify if they come at United and it got an equal.
I don't know.
Feyenoord play a very Ajax style game. It's technical. It's high pressing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. If any Dutch fans in the comments, what do you think? Feyenoord and Ajax coaches coming together? Would that happen? Would that cause outrage?
I feel like it could be fine, Dre, because. I feel like it could be fine, Dre, because you know what it is? It's, as I've said, it doesn't matter about whether they've got rivals or whether that will be an issue. If Van Persie wants to become backroom staff for United, which I'm sure he'd like to, and then Ten Hag's gone to United, they both got an equal kind of motivation, and that's making United better. So I don't think where they've been or where they haven't been
People
really
in the
matters.
comments here calling total football at Old Trafford. The thing is, like, I'm going to talk about total football properly in a minute. But Rene Meulensteen, obviously, his coaching style definitely complements. This is more of a first-team coach. This is the guy planning the training sessions, working the individual technical player development. Your manager is your tactics and your overall philosophy. Your day-to-day running of the training ground is either your assistant or your first-team coach. What Mike Phelan's role is at Manchester United is very much of an admin kind of role, and an admin and player liaison kind of role. And I would not be shocked to see him still maintained at the club. And I think if United have to go to an NFL style, like 80 members of staff, if it works, who gives a fuck? Literally. Why does everyone be like, oh, well, City don't have that? Or like, everyone mocked when Liverpool got a throwing coach. I mean, how much work is he doing day to day? But they're better at throw-ins.
Right, lads, throw-ins.
I think people are going to talk about the fact we brought in a set piece coach, Eric Ramsey, and obviously that didn't turn out too well. No. But it's obviously, it's either boom or bust, really, because I know Arsenal brought one in and it's kind of, they've not conceded a set piece goal all season. So it can work. And I think United are in a situation where we do need specifics in terms of coaching, defensive, transition, maybe throw-ins, maybe free kicks.
Problem is, if you get too many, they might start disagreeing with each other. Do you know what I mean?
It's never a bad thing.
That's the manager's job then, to coordinate what you're focusing on, what you're working on. I think, I mean, I obviously know Rene. I've got his number in my phone.
What, you know Rene?
I am so tempted, so tempted to text him, but I don't think he'd tell me the truth.
Such a subtle flex.
Yeah, it's not a subtle flex. He's been on the podcast like.
I was going to say, the podcast that you had with him, the last one, was it a brew that you had him on?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That was one of the best videos I've seen.
It was incredible.
He was
the thing is, he was here for like an hour beforehand, just talking all sorts of shit too. So you learn talking to Rene. You really learn.
Do you know what people are going to kind of counter that with is they're going to say, is Rene old age and is he moved on with the kind of the evolution of the game where it is now? Because people are saying that's what's happened with United. Yeah, well, everything's a bit dated.
Technical football is technical football.
Because I personally think Rene's perfect from when I've heard him come here, when I've heard him talk. I think he was quite a lot to do with a lot of the success that we had under Fergie. I think he was a really, really important factor. You could kind of tell that when he was speaking.
Was it 7 years that he was here? The success that we won. Yeah. I mean, basically from 2006.
And he was major in Ronaldo's development as well, weren't he?
Yeah, and like surely he's good enough for Ten Hag to come in and be like, right, we want to play like this.
Guy lives around the corner.
Hey?
The guy lives around the corner.
Who?
Rene.
Is he?
Yeah.
Get him in. No, but yeah, literally.
I couldn't get him in now. While there's speculation that he's going to United, he's not a pro.
Yeah, but he's definitely a good enough coach to coach players to play how Ten Hag wants to play. Surely better than any of them.
To be fair, that is the issue because
as a coach. But that's the thing. So we're going to end up doing a video anyway between the three of us where we look at Ten Hag's dream team. Should Ten Hag get appointed? we're going to go and have a look at where the land lays, whose responsibility is this? With the talk of Ralph coming in and potentially Paul Mitchell coming in, we're going to do like a full pyramid of what is the Manchester United hierarchy in the background. What do they do? Who's responsible for this? And I think that the club's so big, there is enough room for Paul Mitchell to come in alongside Fletcher and alongside Murta. I almost think Fletcher is there as a bit of a meter reading. I think he's looking at culture. I think he's looking at technical ability. I think he's looking at mood. I think he's looking at coach intensity. I think he's probably taking a gauge across all of those things and advising the likes of Ralph and Murta and potentially Mitchell if they come in. Here's what my opinion is on what I think we lack. They add that to their own experience. They agree or they disagree, and they move on.
In all of this, though, I would say Ten Hag definitely has to have a say on who he brings in. So it can't be a situation where Ten Hag comes in and he said, okay, you're having Van Persie, Van Nistelrooy, he said, obviously, you get to choose who you want to bring from Ajax, because he should be allowed to bring his staff that he trusts and people that he's had success with. Do you know what I mean? That's why Michael is at his Van Gaag. Have you been told how to pronounce it? Mitchell Van Gaag?
Yeah.
That's how you pronounce his name, somehow. But correct me if I'm wrong. But if he wants to bring him in, because he's basically, someone's briefed it that he said he wants to definitely bring his assistant, which makes sense, because you want to kind of keep people at the same kind of vision and working relationship with you. I don't think it should be a situation where Ten Hag comes and then it's just, you come, but we're going to put people around you kind of thing. He's got to decide.
It needs to come in and it needs to be, here's what we've got. What do you need to make that the best in the world? Because that's the conversation I don't believe happens
well, is
right now.
that like as pessimistic as it is, that won't happen.
Probably
don't think
not,
it will. Like, how many managers have tried so far and failed?
However,
why is this different?
Richard Arnold versus Ed Woodward. I'm hopeful, and I might be deluded in this, but I've got to start off on a clean sheet of paper with him. Richard Arnold is yet to prove us wrong on anything.
I know, but he's comes from a similar ilk to Woodward. It's the same owners.
But
still trying to do it on the cheap. It's the same money.
David Gill came from a
season.
similar ilk as Woodward and was extremely successful. So I'm not going to prejudge Arnold. I'm giving him a completely open mind, and I'm saying, right, I hope you're successful. Let's see. Now, at the moment, what do we know that he's done? He's moved a bit earlier than we've ever moved, by the looks of things, interviewing Ten Hag and potentially Lopetegui.
Urgency, innit?
Yeah, so he might have already started to move quicker. He appointed a genuine football guy in Ralph Rangnick. That wasn't a commercial thing.
It was a bit out of the blue as well, that choice.
Yeah, I was reading Andy Mitten wrote something for The Athletic yesterday about moving to a different stadium. And he basically said that he spoke to Arnold ages ago, and like he's been thinking about stuff like this for a long time, which is a good thing. But then again, nothing's happened. So then, it comes down to, do you need to think ages about these things, or has he been trying to get something done, but nothing's been happening because of the owners?
He's hit a brick wall with Woodward, hit a brick wall with the owners. Yeah. We don't know.
Did anyone see that photo of, I think it was Avram Glazer getting a free hot dog at the F1 the other day?
We was more talking about his hairstyle being absolutely diabolical.
At some point, you've got to fuck it off.
I can't really say much, to be honest. But it's better than his. It's better than a Glazer hairstyle.
Nah, man. Fucking hell, looks like a wet lizard on the back of his head.
Whoever gets into any role at Old Trafford, they need to be given the opportunities and the power to be able to change things, and that's it. Yeah, it's as simple as that.
Crucial.
If you appoint Ralph Rangnick as some sort of director of football, give him the power to make the changes he sees fit. If you appoint Ten Hag as the manager of the football team, allow him to make, even, obviously it's not going to be some FIFA fucking wet dream sort of like 14 signings in season one, but give him 2, 3, 4 first choice, first team players every summer. You will see a change in the team with that.
I know, unfortunately we give managers money some summers, other summers we don't. It's
that's it. Like Jose's final season, he got no first team players. He got Fred, who was a backup, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. He ended up not being a backup, but he was a backup. Certainly wouldn't have been ahead of Matic, Herrera, Pogba. So, he was definitely considered a backup.
That's going to be an issue.
And fucking
League Grant.
Yeah, because Ten Hag would have said this in interview. Obviously, he would have asked. Arnold said to you, I think when I watched you on Vibe, that he's asked, what's the budget going to be like? What I'm going to be able to play with? Because he's going to come in. Obviously, it's an important appointment. You said that all appointments are equally important. But I think this one, we're at a critical stage when it comes to United Football Club. And is he going to be tied a little bit, though, going into the summer, if his transfer budget's only 50, 60 million, and only can bring in 1 or 2 players?
I hope that's a lie.
Do you know what I mean? Because that's what the suggestion was, that without Champions League, we're going to have no money to spend in the summer.
The thing is, if a mate said this to me the other day, today actually, Ten Hag could wait and go City. If he comes to United after having asked these questions, it's probably a good sign. Do you know what I mean? Because he's got to believe that he can do well if he's going to come here. Because he's seen, like I said earlier, he's seen Van Gaal come here and fail. He's seen Mourinho come here and fail.
Yeah, Conor Cleary there. Richard Arnold hasn't done an interview, just seems to want to let football to football people. I was
going to say...
I'll leave football to football people. If he does, that's sound. I know he's met with some pundits. I know he's said he's going to speak to some fans. Here's the thing as well. He hasn't said it in an interview to MUTV, which is what Woodward did when he was appointed, if you remember. He said this, and it's leaked out, rather than... he's going about the work rather than telling everyone about the work he's doing. And I prefer that. But like I said, I'm open-minded on the guy. I will give him a chance. Yeah, partially because I got to live my life in hope, man. Yeah, I got to hope that we're going to get better. Doing analysis of United is horrible when we lose. I don't like it.
Is it hope more than expectation?
Yeah, it's hope more than expectation, yeah.
What 100%. Do you think, Ronnie? Do you reckon there's going to be any different now?
Do you know what? I've got that whole fandom thing, bit of delusion of grandeur. I think we're just going to be amazing again next season when Ten Hag comes in. Will that happen? Probably not. But I'm gonna remain hopeful.
Europa League.
Yeah, gonna remain hopeful. But my expectation is gonna be the improvement's gonna have to be incremental in it. Do you know what I mean? If we're being realistic, because I feel like we fell off. It's not like a minimal gap between us and Liverpool and City at the moment. It's widened to like a chasm basically.
Yeah.
This is the first time as well we've appointed someone else after the Glazers have come out and said, we're not here to make money, we're here to win. So it's turning point. Could be. I don't have any hope in the owners, but I'm hopeful that the new CEO is either more forceful with them or more persuasive with them, and I think you've got half a chance with that. Again, it's hope more than expectation. Good point, that. But, it's one of them, isn't it? You got to hope, though. That's why we're all here.
It's all part of being fans, really, but unfortunately. And I was going to say, someone said, okay, with a 60 mil net budget, if we sell well, who on earth can we sell that's going to be able to... Million. That's going to raise 100 mil and sell...
back for
because Pogba's going... No.
Not unless you've got some mad money back guarantee that they signed.
50 mil back.
Pogba's going on a free.
Start putting that in contracts,
for one.
by the way.
Hey?
Start putting that in contracts. Yeah, listen, after 3 years, if he's shit, you can have him back for the same money.
Because would you say Pogba probably has the highest transfer value on the team, or one of them? Yeah.
You would have done, apart from the fact he's got a contract worth about 8 weeks.
And he's going for free. So who are we going to bring in?
I don't know.
Oh, we missed the super chats.
Yeah, I think we did miss some super chats. We've got Sophie on the 1s and 2s today, so I don't know if she knows where to find them. No, it's a different page that you need to go to, so I might have missed them.
What do you reckon?
Nah, you can usually see when you go up.
No, it's a different page.
Okay.
It's a totally different page. Sorry.
We'll have to get them as they go along, innit?
Yeah, so don't throw super chats in just as we're sort of setting out what's going on with the show. You can ask him a little bit later on. My voice is well going,
Why?
I've got Lurgy in it.
Lurgy? Are you screaming?
What's she done here? What's going on here now? Don't matter. Don't worry about it. Get your questions in and stuff like that. Before we come back to all your questions, I want to talk to Dre about balls.
Go on then.
If your nutsack looks anything like your hair, you need Manscaped, mate.
My nutsack is nothing like my hair.
Well, that's good. Listen.
You didn't sound confident saying that,
Well, do you know what I mean? I'm on a...
Right, spring has sprung at Manscaped, and our friends have got the best tools for spring cleaning in your pants. Trust me, your confidence will be blooming like the flowers this upcoming spring, even Dre's, especially if it doesn't look like his head. Right, Manscaped are global leaders in below-the-waist grooming and have forever changed the game with their amazing Performance Package 4.0. Inside the care bundle, you can get the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer Weed whacker, which is for your ear and your nose, which you lot don't need, but I'm old, so I do. Crop preserver, which is deodorant for your balls there. Crop reviver, toner, because who wants saggy balls? Nobody. Performance boxer briefs, which they're genuinely top for the gym. And a travel bag that holds all your goodies. It's a Puma Assassin. It's waterproof. It's got an LED light, and you can bet it is a major key in the new shower routine. It's an elite trimmer designed to trim all the loose hair on your skin, or all the hair, even on loose skin. Although your balls might look like punching bags, don't treat them like one, and they'll benefit from our proprietary skin-safe technology. It's simple as this. XG20 gets you 20% off and free shipping. We know that you're going to balls it up, no pun intended, when you need to buy someone a gift, and you go, what do I buy the man that's got everything? You buy him a ball shaver, and he says thank you, simply. Look good, feel good, smell good, and don't get chafage and big sweaty hairy balls all over the show this summer. Get it clean for the summer, lads.
Yeah, don't get him shitty socks.
Yeah, don't get socks. Get my ball trimmer. All good?
Nothing wrong with socks.
Right, let's have a see what you guys are saying then in the comments. Have you got any questions in there for us? Nathan says, hopefully with Ten Hag, Donny comes back with a new lease of life, but also with Fredinho, who needs Pogba. And Kessie is on a free. Hasn't Kessie gone Barcelona?
Yeah, he is.
On the verge of.
Basically on the verge of.
Donny's a real interesting one because there's every chance that he knows exactly how to utilise him, and he comes back and he smashes it. However, he's not done anything at Everton.
Are you basically going to say that Donny van der Beek's part of their demise at the moment?
No, I think that's unfair. But he's factual. He's not done anything at Everton. You seen how Tony Marshall's been getting rinsed by Sevilla players?
Yeah, he has.
Fans, by the way. Oh my good God.
Apparently, he completely doesn't fit in with their system and their way of playing.
I don't know what
That's what Lopetegui.
What do they expect?
Which would make it hyper awkward if their manager actually does come.
Subash in the comments there says, look at Maldini doing a fantastic job. He balanced the wage structure completely and also the team in and out. Do you see that he halved their wage budget and made them more competitive? That is incredible because when you look at correlation to transfer spend isn't really there, Joe, in terms of where you finish. Correlation to wage budget is very, very much there, although I think United have been doing our best to break that.
Apart from United breaking that more.
Lately. So to half your wage budget, or nearly half. It was either, I think he went from like 14 million to 8 million or something like that.
That is mad, to be fair.
That must be a month or something like that.
Does anyone know?
Imagine doing that here.
Does anyone know in the comments the wage budget between Liverpool and City?
Pretty big, I think. Yeah, and I think we're definitely above one of them. City pay players a lot on the sly.
There's no way that we pay our players less than Liverpool.
No.
Because isn't the whole thing with Liverpool that their wage budget's quite...
I mean, you look
at... thing at the minute.
There's some talk that we're paying Sancho like 370 grand a week, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
If that's the case...
No, it's true. It's something big.
Fair play to him, but when you see like Salah's on less than... What's he on, about 160?
Yeah,
170?
like
yeah.
And he wants like 250 for this final contract.
And they're like, nah.
Yeah, they're saying no. And on one hand, I go, okay, do you know what? I think... it's your final contract, you need a big contract. However, he wants a multi-year deal, and there's a good chance that in the middle of that, he's going to decline.
That's probably how Liverpool stay competitive. Because as soon as they say, yeah, go on, we'll give you, I don't know, 300 grand, everyone's going to want more. And that's when you get to what we've got now, when we've got De Gea on, fuck knows how much he's on. But it's like...
Isn't Bruno on the verge of a new deal as well?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And he's going to get something ridiculous.
Yeah, Bruno's going to get mad.
But that's why Bruno can come in and then basically say, I want this, I want that. Because he's seeing that Sancho's on over 300,
Exactly.
what Pogba was on, what De Gea is on. And he's thinking, performance-wise, statistically, I'm up there.
not a problem, though,
So
if
he's
you're
going to
winning.
basically ask for that.
If you're winning and you can afford it, it's not a problem. But when you fucking shit like we are, and you've got players on the money that De Gea's on, that Pogba's on, it's just fuck.
It's a bit of an awkward...
City
how
are
do you
like,
recover?
look how much we're spending. They're like, I don't give a fuck.
But it's now
City's just different.
the way it works is awkward, though, because when you go into this situation of paying players...
Someone stuck it.
There you go.
Comment.
United's 208, Chelsea's 162, City's 142, and Liverpool's 134.
All right, that's
Yeah,
insane.
no.
But as I was saying,
How much of that is Phil Jones?
when you get into what United are doing, where you're paying incredibly high wages, and then you're not getting the success to kind of match it, you kind of think, okay, maybe you need to cut the wage bracket to kind of make you more competitive. But you actually go the other way, you become more desperate. So then you start paying players more. you start thinking, I need to go further and further, otherwise I'm not going to get success, because of that thing that you said where usually wages equate to success. Because United's aren't. They're going to probably think they need to increase it further.
I mean, over the course of the last 20 years and over the course of the top 5 leagues, wages has got like a 98% correlation to success.
And we're the 2%.
And where you finish, and the reason it's not 100% is Real Madrid have faltered at times. They had a period where they had Bale on he's on like $500,000 a week. And when they're not winning leagues, yes, they won some Champions Leagues, but league position is the true definition of where you are in the grand scheme of things. You can fluke a cup. No one's ever fluked a league. And when you look at, United have been paying not just Sanchez, but De Gea's on an absolute eye-watering amount at the moment. Dean Henderson's probably like the 5th highest paid goalkeeper in England.
And he played like twice this season.
And then you've got, Maguire won't be on nothing. Sancho's on way more than I thought he would be on. He's on a similar sort of tilt to De Bruyne. Where does he go next? He's going to want an improved contract next time round a little bit. You're going to have so many. You're going to have so many players wanting an uplift in their wages. Marcus, whether he deserves one or not on current form, is not even really up for debate, but will want an improved contract. Like, all of these players are going to come in and want more. Paul Pogba would have definitely been offered somewhere in the region of $500,000 a week. 100%. And I don't think he's worth it.
Yeah.
What do you think Ronaldo's on? Every bit of probably $500,000 a week.
A lot.
Yeah. Do you think Cavani's on minimum wage? Not a prayer.
Henderson gets paid more than Edison. I reckon Henderson gets paid more than Alisson as well.
Yeah, I would have thought he does.
So, and he's a backup keeper. That's insane.
This is so when someone was before saying there's no way United pay 60 million more than the likes of Liverpool comfortably. Look how many sort of like fringe and academy players Liverpool have in their matchday squad, and then think the fact we've got the likes of Lingard and $100,000. There's not many of them backup players at Liverpool on $100,000. You've got Mata. Do you think he's on minimum wage?
No, he's
Matic is on minimum wage. When you look at the value that we get throughout our squad, you've probably Phil Jones won't be on nothing. Bailly won't be on nothing. You're getting about a dozen games a year out of that group of players.
No. It takes so long as well to fix. I think how long it's taken Liverpool to sort it out.
Starting 11s won't be too much different. And United might have a couple of like quite cheap players in there. The likes of Alanga will not be breaking any wage structure at the moment. I wouldn't have thought McTominay's on a massive wage. Maybe not even Fred. Probably on below $100,000 maybe. But across the squad, United have got so much money wasted on players that aren't playing. That includes Lingard, Mata, Matic, Henderson.
The thing is, like I said,
Cavani.
if you're winning, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It's the fact we're shit. It just means whoever we want to sign now, how hard is it to say to them, we're trying to lower the wages? So we're going to put you on this.
It takes ages.
Not my fucking problem, mate. Yeah, that's it.
So it's like I don't know how Maldini's done it. It'd be interesting to find out.
Probably started playing youngsters.
Yeah, well, that's a good shout.
Got rid of Donnarumma.
Huh?
Got rid of Donnarumma.
Yeah.
Got rid of anyone who's represented by Raiola.
Ooh.
Yeah, true.
And then was successful. Jeez.
Yeah, but successful. Where are they? Are they top in Serie A?
No, they're not top, but they're competitive enough for someone that's done like a huge wage bracket slash anyway. Because they were on a massive decline. People are saying that Ronaldo obviously has earned his salary through.
The word says, so the thumbnail headline is crock. No, it's not. Literally, this is a video discussing, or it started off discussing, the potential options for Ten Hag staff. There is a report out there which suggests that he wants a Dutchman that's got links with United. The one I didn't mention, and I did say I was going to mention it, so I'll bring it up. Jordi Cruyff. Now, his old man might be the most iconic footballer of all time. And I mean that in terms of successful footballer, successful manager, is there anyone comes close to him?
It's definitely not in the manager side. No, sorry. Yeah, no, you're right. Both together. I don't know.
He's up there as one of the greatest managers of all time and one of the greatest players of all time. When you look at, if you include Pep and Jose and Fergie, their managerial career murders their playing career. And you look at some players, like maybe Zidane is starting to put himself in that mix, but not really seeing
Saying he's on the top of the league.
They are top by 3 points.
The thing with Cruyff as well, it's his philosophy. It's how he's influenced European football. And how it's all gone from stuff that he's done.
There's a book called, I've mentioned this a few times on here, it's called The Barcelona Legacy. And they shouldn't call it the Barcelona legacy. They should have called it Johan Cruyff's legacy because and actually Rinus Michels needs a little bit of credit in there too as well. But,
Donny van der Feen as well.
What Cruyff did is unmatched. He's basically created two of Europe's superpowers in Ajax and Barcelona. And their philosophy still exists to this day. And, Manchester City are a Cruyffian team because of Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola was a Cruyffian player in every sense of the word. Not fast, but technical. And the reason the likes of Xavi and that even had a career was through the likes of Cruyff and through the likes of Pep Guardiola. Now, his son Jordi was not a successful player and hasn't been as successful as a coach. However, he is back at Barcelona. Now, you tell me what's just recently happened at Barcelona.
Resurgence.
Starting to turn things round.
They've turned round what was an utter shit show. Was it Laporte that was the culprit for a lot of this stuff that had gone on as president?
Probably, I'm not sure, but like the Barcelona, the way they've turned it around, Barcelona is a bit of a mixture though, because they have thrown a bit of money about, but they have introduced a lot of their youngsters and gone through that route as well.
Joe's in charge of the academy, or was? I don't know if he still is actually.
No idea.
You know who it is?
That's the thing.
Is it Mr. Cruyff?
Patrick Kluivert.
Barcelona.
No, Cruyff's his sporting director.
Right.
Very interesting.
Yeah. The problem with Barcelona is because they like run on their president is elected. It's a bit like politics. You can't really.
Bartomeu, sorry.
It's hard to do stuff long term because you're trying to instantly make a fix. If someone's running for the president there and says, "I'll do this, I'll sign so and so," people will vote for them.
Yeah,
but then if someone goes, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna invest in the academy long term,"
David O'Connor, Ancelotti, player and manager, very close.
It's not as attractive.
See, they're saying it's Bartomeu.
Yeah, but the thing with Cruyff is that, like, in comparison to people like Ancelotti, like other player managers, is he's like a football man. He's not just a manager. He's not just a player. He's like a philosopher.
Oh yeah,
like that's what sets him ahead of everyone else.
I've seen that a lot. A lot of Barca's money now is coming from Spotify.
Yeah, I know the Spotify camp now.
That Spotify deal's good. Hey, listen, that's gonna, especially
like
where music.
Mesque un club Spotify. Can you imagine that?
Now people saying that when they're buying players in the summer, and then you got Real Madrid fans with earphones in, using Spotify, crying.
It is funny.
There's a new book by Simon Cooper just come out. The Dutch spelling of Cooper, Kuper. He's done a fantastic book. He had access into Barcelona for the last 30 years, massively through Cruyff, being the Dutch connection with him. And Simon's one of the people that wrote Soccernomics, which is the greatest footballing book that's ever been written, along with Simon Sizamski.
Is that the book you gave me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's must read. If you want,
it's an incredible book.
It's fascinating.
So Simon's one of those that wrote that, but he's also a journalist, and for the last 30 years, he's had like a almost unfettered access into Barcelona, and as such has got a brilliant perspective on the good things it does, the weird things it does, and just some of the quirks about the club. I'll get the title of it up. I think it's just called...
You know what Ian Greenhouse is how you pronounce his name, said Cruyff didn't invent that style of football. It was Jimmy Hogan who taught it to the Dutch in the 1940s. Whenever you say someone's invented something, someone always says, nah, someone else did it before him. Could be true.
Yeah,
maybe
it's taking something and changing it and doing something with it. Everything comes from something. Do you know what I mean? Everything. You learn from stuff, you learn from stuff, you learn from stuff. Because with Cruyff, there was the whole... the Cruyff Van Gaal split. Was it? No. Who was it? Was it Guardiola and Van Gaal? Or, no, it was Cruyff and Van Gaal. They were like rivals, weren't they? They talk about that in...
He was, but he was still in awe of Cruyff, I think.
Right. I can't remember. I need to scrub up on that.
It's just called Barca by Simon Cooper, and it's brilliant. It's an amazing book. I can't remember the whole point. I was bringing it up now about why there's something in that book about Cruyff. I can't remember what it is now. It's another phenomenal book about. I can't remember what the fuck it was now.
What's the best football book you've read?
He said Soccernomics.
Soccernomics, yeah. Apart from Soccernomics.
Do you know what the thing is?
The Barcelona Legacy by Jonathan Wilson, and then that Barca one's. And again, it shouldn't be called a Barcelona Legacy. It should be called something else because it's literally like the history and origins of European football. Because the tentacles of what Cruyff achieved, they spread to everywhere. They're ingrained into all sorts of stuff. He had a lot of really good stuff to say about Fergie as well, which when you get to the part about Jordi coming to United, That's in his autobiography, actually, which is called My Turn, which is a brilliant title.
Do you know what's interesting? Your favourite book, Soccernomics, one of the main things I remember from Soccernomics is that whole... Because we're doing a video on, obviously, the managers and who we're going to appoint. Is Soccernomics basically telling us how little influence a manager has on team success in football?
Importance.
Or
They have influence, but not an importance.
Saying that it is basically, 80% player?
Yeah, so there's... In my take of this... And I could be wrong on this. This isn't definitive, and I haven't done the research that Soccernomics has done, which was I think 10,000 matches sort of analysed.
Decent
it might be even
size.
more. It was over decades as well. I think my take on it is a manager is the 12th player, and a bad manager, like a bad left back or a bad goalkeeper, is going to affect your results. And a world-class manager, like a world-class striker, centre mid, centre half, right winger, is going to improve results. But the average, this is what people misinterpret, the word average. Mm-hmm. So shit managers are going to be shit, and good managers are going to be good. But probably 80% of managers exist in the average. They're not amazing, but they're competent. They're gonna pick.
It depends how broad.
Right 11.
Depends how broad your average spectrum is.
But you're right.
Saying when you like bad to great to average,
so
could be like that.
Bad would be someone that's just picking players out of position, giving them really fucked up, confusing tactics. But the average manager isn't doing that. And people want to be extreme all the time and go, because he was shit. No, he was probably just ordinary.
Manager and coach is another thing. It's like could Pep do what Clough did at, I don't know, Derby, for example, getting them up and winning the league title?
We don't know.
No, but Ferguson probably could because he was a proper manager. Do you know what I mean? That's another thing. But you're right, because the thing you were saying about managers not being important is true, because that's why new manager bounces happen. They don't last. They don't last. They always fall off.
That's exactly what's
happening.
happening.
Bounce, it falls off. It's the players, isn't it?
Newcastle,
isn't
it?
At the end of the day.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, it could be the way around.
Newcastle just because they've spent loads of money in January.
New player.
That's why.
New player bounce. The new player impact. Again, they brought in some good players, and maybe they brought in a manager that was... Because here's the other thing as well. You might be a worse manager than the guy that you've replaced, but you might be a better fit. Like if you was ranking your managers...
So we're going throughout but see, there's like a million variables, isn't it? That's
what
makes it so difficult.
And here's the madness as well. And this, I think, is explained in Soccernomics. And it's also why I think they use this to explain racism in managerial appointments as well, still. Most people don't know what managers do. Whereas, let's say you're a football coach, right? And a young... Pele turns up, yeah? You can see, that's a good fucking player, right? He's quicker than that guy, he's got better dribbling, he scores loads of goals. I'm going to pick him. So racism in a meritocracy is easy to spot. Because you go, hang on, why is he not playing over him? Look how fucking much better he is. So it's easier to hide prejudices and racism in team selections because everyone can go, well, he's a better goalkeeper. Well, he's a better winger. You can see it. You can go, objectively, we all know he's better.
But it's hard to objectively say he's a better manager, he's this,
Correct.
He's that. Because you're not sure about the impact. Because
you can't visually see.
They all have different circumstances.
Psychological impact.
It's true, and it's just like, for example, if you're comparing a manager at United this season that had 13 games and then you had Ragnick's 13 games, there's a lot that comes into it. Different players being available for them games, strength of opposition. There's a lot of different stuff that come into it. So it's hard to kind of definitively say that manager is great, bad, average, or amazing unless you see it over a long period of time. Yeah. So that's why what you were saying on Soccernomics, it was like
Clough taking over second-tier teams and winning the top flight division with them both within a couple of years. You go, well, he's a good manager. Yeah, exactly. He's genuinely a good manager. When you see someone win the league at a team that always wins the league, there's question marks. So someone that goes into, say, Celtic in the last 25 years, hasn't Gordon Strachan won the league there? Hasn't Brendan Rodgers won the league there? Like, does it make him a good manager winning the league there? Yeah. That team always wins the league.
Managers are suited for different jobs as well. Like David Moyes couldn't do it at United, but he's proven again with West Ham, like he did with Everton, he can take a club and make them challenge for Europe.
Yeah.
European positions.
An underdog that doesn't mind playing off the back foot. He can overachieve with that. But when you say to him, all right, that was well done, now you need to win every game.
Exactly.
And you need to go out and go for the throat, people go, oh, shit.
With a team of previous champions, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Not
People always
seventh.
that squad was like aging.
Yeah,
it was aging, but it won the league.
They had
won the
gold
league.
badges.
Hey?
They had gold badges.
Exactly.
Akshay there says, Steve, how do you rate all United's managers post-Alex? Ollie?
Should we all do it?
Yeah, go on then. I'll start. I'm going to start. I'm just going to rank them in order of best to worst. Ollie, Louis, Jose, Moyes.
I agree, but the only again,
No,
I'm
just
not
say your
sure
list.
about. Hey,
So you-
okay,
just say your
I'd say the same, but maybe I'd swap Mourinho and Van Gaal around just because Mourinho won an extra trophy, but then again he left with the place set on fire. But that always happens,
I'd probably go.
and he finished second.
If I'm being honest, I'd probably go Mourinho, Ole, Van Gaal, Moyes.
Why Mourinho at the top?
Because you won something.
Okay, but then surely Ollie was on a progression. He did things
Ollie was the one that
consistently.
finished in the league.
The last time that we've seen United win a trophy was with Mourinho.
Yeah, that is true. It's a good point. It just
Do you know what I
depends
mean?
again. What do you see as success? When it's not obvious, it's hard, isn't it? But I think it's obvious that Moyes was the worst. I think.
Is anyone out there arguing? Anyone out there arguing that Moyes isn't bottom of that list?
Evra's goal at Bayern was
Synergy
quite
Coffee
fun,
says Ollie was the lowest tier. Right, yeah. David Moyes finished 7th of the champions, and Ollie came 2nd and 3rd with the worst squad in 30 years. But yeah, he was the lowest. Shut up, you fucking length. Vicky Palam with a super chat there says, which United players have been loaned out and youth will be joining United's first team next season? We will be looking at that. Don't you worry. Nimesh says, do you think the step up in terms of profile from Ajax United will make Ten Hag accept a lack of support in terms of funds? No. I think the other way around. I think he's going to want more funds.
People saying Carrick was the best.
Carrick and Giggs had an identical record, didn't they?
Honestly,
I didn't have a better one, didn't he? Because Giggs lost one. I think he just drew. Was it win 2, lose, draw 2?
I think Giggs lost a couple.
No, he won 2, draw 1, lost 1, I think.
There you go. But yeah, Carrick.
All his damage to the club makes him worse. What the fuck are you saying?
What damage?
I don't know what people say.
He did the best he could with his shot.
Divided opinion though. A lot of people say Mourinho, probably because of the trophy thing.
You don't think Jose fucking damaged the club? Jesus Christ, we had to put the fires out.
Do you know what though? With the thing with Mourinho, there's a lot of shit he said in hindsight were correct. It's just the way he went about it.
They were. But if he was like, let's get rid of Luke Shaw and let's bring in Danny Rose, that wouldn't have gone better.
No.
Wasn't he Mourinho the one that came in and basically said he wanted to get rid of Pogba, Martial, all that straight away? And that was a time when Martial was actually firing a little bit and Pogba was all right. And he said, I don't want him. And then he wanted to replace it with... Was he the one that brought Matic in?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. He wanted to go older rather than younger because he wanted that kind of winning now seniority in the team. Because he's not a guy for... Mourinho's not usually a guy for youngsters, which is the issue. So he didn't really fit in with the culture that United had.
Yeah, that's why
he bought Maguire.
Go on it. But yeah, see, this is another problem. The squad now, you have players from Ferguson, you have players from Moyes, you have players... you've got what? Ronaldo, De Gea, say it? Jones. There's a huge... Every time you sack a manager, there's a bigger clear out to do. And Ollie tried to do it. He got rid of Sanchez, he got rid of Smalling, he got rid of Lukaku. He tried, and he couldn't succeed. It's an even bigger job now. You have to give someone time. You have to. And we might be shit for another 10 years. But that's what you have to do. Look how long it's taken Liverpool to win a league. It took them so long. And how many times, again, did they fail, sack managers, sign more players?
They went for a ringer of just signing shit.
It's going to happen here. Again, I know I'm very pessimistic, but it seems like whoever gets the job, whoever is the assistant manager, are set up to fail.
Yeah, the biggest thing
of the structure and the owners.
is the internal structure changing. And I hope, look, if we see Ralph with whatever fucking title he names himself, and he brings in someone like Paul Mitchell, and they go, we've actually got the keys to the castle here. Okay, now's the time to get excited. Not for immediate success, not for any trouble in the next 5 years, but that we've actually fucking turned the corner. And the Woodward era, forget the Glazer era, the fucking Woodward era needs just burning down and re-fucking freshen and bring it back. Let's hope Richard Arnold is the new David Gill and not the new Woodward. Because right now, he could deviate either way. He could just be an extension of Woodward and we're in the shit.
Was David Gill appointed when the Glazers were appointed? Was he
took
there
over
before?
from Kenyon. He was pre-Glazers.
Okay. And how long before the Glazers?
Not that long. Kenyon left. I think Kenyon left either 2002 or 2003 because I think in 2003 he fucked up the Ronaldinho deal. I think we phoned him up and was like, 22 million for Ronaldinho, yeah? Yeah, sound. And then he got to Paris because you used to have to do things face to face then, and was like, right, so 19 million for Ronaldinho, and he was like, get the fuck out.
If we signed Ronaldinho,
and then he signed for Chelsea.
Would we have signed?
I think
Barca. Would he have signed for? Sorry, what I'm trying to say is, would we have signed Ronaldo as well? If we signed Ronaldinho,
probably not. So it's one of those.
It's one of
but
them.
Would we have been more successful in the interim? Because it took Rooney and Ronaldo a bit of time to mature. We went through that weird period of Jemba and Alan Smith United and Mikel Sylvester United. So I think. Those sliding doors moments, you never know what the kickback is. If you hadn't have let Beckham go then, he probably would have done another 10 years at United.
Yeah, exactly.
He was still playing Champions League football for PSG in 2013.
True.
We sold him in 2003. Insane. Absolutely insane.
A lot of what ifs.
So many what ifs.
What if they didn't let the Glazers buy United?
Who's this Muppet? Obviously, I don't know if you're ignoring it. Who's this Muppet in the comments?
Narrow it down. I don't know. I think Sophie.
It's Nelson.
Just fucking block him.
Yeah, boot this City
Get
boy.
the fuck out. We don't need you here. It's a troll-free zone.
Troll-free. Probably a Newcastle fan in about 2 days.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So who do you reckon? Ronnie Stee out of them 5?
I think Rene.
6.
I think Rene. That's why I'm scared to text him. Because he'll just lie to me.
He'll lie. Rene was something serious, man, when he came in. When he comes in and he talks, like, everything about him is just winning. I don't know what Rio's told you about his experiences with me either, whether he's a big fan or whether he'd like to see that. I don't know if he'd tell you either. But
him and I think he's a massive Kyrgios fan.
I was going to say Carlos Kyrgios maybe.
And I don't think he necessarily separates them.
This is Rio.
Yeah, I think he's like, they were different. Like, Rene was very much your individual skill, so I can see why a lot of players would like him. But also, we all think about on-the-ball stuff, but Rene used to work with Rio in his defensive positioning and shape and stuff, and Rio said he was fucking excellent at that. So that's one of those. With Carlos Queiroz, he was a bit more team shape. He was a bit more, when he comes here, he goes there. When he goes there, we need to have someone at the front and someone in the D. Like, very much almost NFL-style patterns of play. And Rio's opinion is that we were still successful for those Champions League wins with a lot of Carlos's systems. He goes, so it might have been Rene was there at the club while we was winning the double in 2008 and stuff like that, and there was probably a lot of his influence certainly on the likes of Ronaldo, but a lot of the patterns and the structure of the 11 was still sort of hangovers from Carlos's time. So I think they've all had a hand in the success that we've had.
We could just keep Chris Almers.
But I'm just kind of mulling over that Queiroz, Rene, Fergie dynamic.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Well, it's like, imagine if Moyes kept them.
No, I'm glad he didn't. This is why I'm glad he didn't, right? Because if Moyes had retained the title for us in 2014, talk about a sliding doors moment, right? Mm-hmm. We would have all fought tooth and nail to keep him. No, he's good. He's won a title. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Whereas actually, you go, no, fucking Rene and fucking everybody else knows what they're doing. So it was good that we almost got to see that he couldn't do it.
He still would have got sacked eventually, though. If he
it might have been, maybe because I thought this pain would be over 5 years ago.
Yeah, true.
And I thought it was good to like rip the plaster off and find out that Moyes wasn't all that. Let's get a different coaching. But it takes the fucking it takes Louis van Gaal turning up and going, "Why is there no floodlights here? What the fuck?
So outdated. You've been speaking about it for a while, innit?
Yeah,
Everything's so old.
There's so much that United need to fix up. And I'm available, lads. Just fucking pick the phone up. Joel says, Sylvester wasn't as good as people think. We were just living the dream back then. He made quite a few mistakes. He was shit.
I thought you were going to defend him.
No, he was shit. He was shit.
It's like
right. No, they're right.
Literally feels like everyone we talk about.
Did fuck all, do you remember?
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like everyone we talk about is bald now. Sylvester as well.
Chris Armas.
I'm a big fucking Rene fan. His book's fantastic as well. I'll put it on Instagram. I'll put it on my stories if you want to go and check it out on Instagram, right? I will show you how thumbed that book is. Stretford Paddock FC is basically, might as well have fucking powered by Rene Meullensteen's fucking coaching book. Honestly, it is my go-to fucking book. But yeah, on a final one, I'd bring Rene in as my coach, but I'm bringing Jaap Stam in just for the fucking violence. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, it would
Might start keeping clean sheets.
Who's yours? Who are you bringing in? It's your dream setup. In fact, let's do it in this. Go top down. I want your top down structure. Whether you're bringing in a Mitchell or something like that.
So what's the top down? Is it director?
Well, you got Ralph onwards, haven't you? Really?
Ralph is that kind of the consultant, and then you've got director. I definitely want Paul Mitchell back, just because of his track record, and I think he's doing decent at Monaco anyway. I used to think if Paul Mitchell came, he'd help us get Tchouaméni, but don't think that's happening anymore.
Come Madrid,
He's pretty much nailed on to call Madrid now. So them, Camavinga. But you've literally said Jaap Stam and Rene. I want Rene. I think I'd want a bit of Van Nistelrooy, you know.
Yeah.
Ruthless. Attacking edge.
Let us know. Do we let him back on or what? Do we let Dre back on? Been all right, hasn't he?
I say yeah.
I think he's done all right.
Let's
go on, what's you?
I'd say the same, but I think your assistant, I think, has got to be Van der Gaag. I think just because he's proven he can do well with Ten Hag, and it's like that is a big credential.
He's got to have his boys for when they're having a row in the. Because I hope they're having a row. I hope they're having a row in there, trying to figure out what 11 or what tactics to go for.
Adam, shut up, man.
Yeah, and then.
Adam, that's sensational.
That's great, though.
One bridge, two main.
That is sensational. Someone's.
Go on, what's your top down then?
Same as Ronnie, but I'd choose Rene or Van der Gaag. But yeah, Jaap Stam in there would be a good crack, wouldn't he? Just let him do Jaap Stam stuff. Just play him centre half.
I go Ralph Rangnick as director of football. Whatever the fuck, sporting director is it that Murtaugh's got under?
Yeah.
I don't hear a lot of good things about Murtaugh from academy lads because that was his previous job, and bit of a mixed bag about John Murtaugh. Darren Fletcher, I think, is a really interesting role, and he's getting a lot of shit by people who don't know what they're talking about. I don't know for sure exactly what he's doing, but I see him plugging into all sorts of different areas. Now, what he's doing with that information, I don't know. But I don't think he'd be on the touchline doing stuff if people didn't want him doing stuff. Yeah. So I'm going to keep him around and we find out what he does.
It's important to have someone with that link to the fans as well.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
That's what they're going for.
Has he bought into it? Because I'm listening to Carrick's book at the minute. His first chapter, he just talks about how he bought into United at the club. And he's like a United fan now. His kid's a United fan.
I'm keeping Mike feeling me.
Yeah.
Because I know the commercial stuff that...
Is that because it's not one of your friends?
He's one of my friends. I'm keeping Mike feeling, because I think... Joe, when you Moyes was overwhelmed by how much there is to do at United. If you what Mike Phelan's, I think, main role is almost a bit like support staff, right? He ain't putting the cones out. He ain't taking training. I don't think he's touching that shit. But there are so many commercial demands on Manchester United players. He's the guy that organises that. Now you're going to have to do that. Now if he goes, someone's going to be knocking on Ten Hag's door, saying, Erik, do you want to start? He's going to be like, what the fuck? I've got to do 400 interviews for different fucking outlets today. Whereas Mike Phelan knows the club, knows the demands that are on the players. He'll talk to the manager. Do you want me to? I'll sort that. Don't worry about it. And it's something else off his plate. And again, someone who knows the culture of the club and everything else. People want to bag on Mike Phelan because he's old, right? And he's literally looks like a fucking Brexit voting gammon guy. That's not who he is, though. And he's a guy that's been here from 1999 to the end of Fergie's reign. You Google what we won in that time and you tell me that you want to get rid of him.
You need people like that about.
Yeah, and if it's going west with the management, how about Mike Phelan sits you down and goes, "You all right, son? Is everything all right at home? You don't have to tell the gaffer if you don't want, but do you want me to go and sort that out?"
I'm in agreement though with what some of they're saying about the Mike Phelan dynamic. Question is, a big part of sports is, what have you done for me lately? And you've got to update your resume every day. And that goes for if you're a manager, if you're a player. And with Mike Phelan, you're going to ask if his peak's gone. Or
Maybe
his best days behind him.
Is he coaching or is he just a fucking admin staff? If he's just admin staff, I think he's fulfilling a really serious role. We know United are not getting enough strength and conditioning to their players. We know that there's not enough nutritional advice going to the players. Anything that you can take away from the main coaches and managers, that's what that guy should be doing. So I'm keeping Mike. I bring in Erik. I bring in his mate Mitch, right? That's the 1 and 2. We bring in Rene. You can be the technical coach. The guy putting the fucking cones out. We have a look at, go and get me someone that's working with fucking NFL players, UFC fighters, and some fucking ultramarathon motherfuckers. And we're going to have a proper fucking strength and conditioning coaching, because we're going to be running like mad cunts, right? Someone that's worked on the Tour de France, someone that's the tip of the spear. Have they worked in the Navy SEALs? Get them in, right? Let's fucking have someone that knows about fucking human physiology to the highest level. Let's have them working on the football side.
Knees over toes.
Yeah. And let's have Jaap Stam death staring people, just fucking looking at them. Anytime there's a bad, like, you miscontrol a pass in training, you look up and it's Jaap Stam, like, Jesus fucking Christ.
So what we're going for, all right, so you've gone 10.
I want an NFL bench.
So you've gone 10.
I'm going to have an extension on that fucking dugout, and there's going to be 26 motherfuckers in there, and they're all bald.
It's 10 hours.
They're all bald, Ronnie.
That's what I'm saying. You've gone for the bald Avengers. We should have titled this the Bald Avengers. That is who you're going for.
Yeah, going for the Bald Avengers.
Let's see if it works.
Get some personal chefs in there as well for the players.
Do you know what I mean? It's Manchester United. If we're not trying to do the best that we're fucking doing.
Everyone should have one.
Yeah, I'm hiring David Goggins. That's it. We're getting David Goggins in. David Goggins just screaming, "Get hard" at everyone all the fucking time.
The lads are doing pull-ups today. They're like, fucks.
Yeah, how many? 4,000. We're not going to bend.
Bald Avengers.
4,000.
Okay, now.
Fuck.
Might as well get Charles Xavier in as well.
Righty then. That is it from us. Started vlogging something for the behind-the-scenes fams for Patreon, and it is basically my fucking recovery and rejoining of the armed forces. There's a long fucking way to go. But if you're interested in that journey, interested in some of the fieldcraft lessons that I'm re-exploring and relearning and rediscovering, as well as all the other sorts of fitness challenges and different rehab and surgery and all the rest of that sort of shit that I'm going through, and extra shows like the studio, the rundown, and the drive-ins that we'll be doing, then please get in the mix. The link for Patreon is in the description. Also, if you'd like to be like Dre, and you would like to come and do an internship, we are looking for graphic designers, videographers, presenters, journalists, anybody involved in the media side of stuff. If you would like to get involved, then head over to our website, studio68.co.uk, and I think it's /internships, or it might be jobs and internships. Check it out over there. We have got vacancies starting over the summer, so if you'd like to get some work experience in over the summer, and I'll be working on my channel, on Rio's channel, on the football team and all that sort of stuff, then please send a covering letter and a CV. You have to be in Manchester or getting close to Manchester. And if you're interested in all the rest of that sort of stuff, then again, get in touch. But nice one for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Laters.